Hi guys, my name is Elise Walker, and I'm going to be giving my presentation today via Screencast-O-Matic. I'm sorry that I can't be there in person to give this presentation. This is currently as loud as I can talk, so I think it'll probably be easier to hear me via this presentation. So I'm just going to get started and talk to you about my senior project, and I looked at the humanistic framework and applied that to hospice. So today I'm just going to give you a brief kind of outline of how this project went for me and how I set it up. And I want to start talking to you about my specific philosophy that I wrote at the beginning of the semester. This philosophy is based on music therapy. So my philosophy for music therapy is really centered on the individual client. We are all different from the people that we're sitting next to, and although we may have the same major and be the same age, we have very different characteristics that make us different, have different strengths and weaknesses. So my philosophy is to find what makes them unique, validate them where they're at, use music as a bridge to build a client-centered relationship, client-therapist relationship. Humanistic framework is what I worked with this semester, and the psychology framework developed by Carl Rogers. Humanism focuses on the individual and what makes them unique, and it's a very broad framework from which other frameworks have been developed, such as client-centered and a few others I will actually be talking about in some other presentations. The different salient features that stand out about humanism is validation. Really just meeting that client where you're at and just, where you're at, that's okay, this is you, this is who you are, this is why you're here, and we're gonna totally accept that, and that ties into that unconditional positive regard that's towards God and me. And then humanism, you're really trying to find one's strengths and find what makes them very unique to help build them and validate them in group. Meeting client where they are, trying to find their strengths and develop those instead of focusing on their weaknesses or areas of growth or need. So you are still working on areas of their need, but most of the time this isn't like the prime target, or it's not necessarily a physical goal that one might have. Okay, so for my new project, I went to Franciscan. It's located in Brookfield, Wisconsin. This is a hospice place as opposed to just like a nursing home. And each session that I had was probably 40 to 45 minutes long. We were in a big group room, very open layout, doors to the room that could just kind of close you off, and they're still accessible and visible by everyone that's walking by, but it limited the distractions that were in there. I have 4 clients that I met with for all 8 sessions, and all of them were in wheelchairs, so as they came into the room, I was able to lay it up so they were all kind of in a circle and looking at me, which is great, and so that they could all see each other as well and just get that validation in group. 4 clients that I had, this is just a brief kind of description. I was diagnosed with middle stage Alzheimer's. That's brain once for several years. He was diagnosed with middle stage Alzheimer's and has also been there for several years. Kay was diagnosed with cerebral vascular disease and has been at Ford since 2009. And I was my oldest client, 100 years old, and she's been at brain once for several years now as well. The diagnosis that was given to me was the title of dementia. So I'm briefly take you into my documentation here. So this is a brief lookout of my assessment that I did. It was looking for 2 residents of age diagnosis. When they were diagnosed, other therapies that they may take that Fern Woods, and different religious affiliations. All four of my clients ended up being Catholic, which made it kind of easy for me and some conversations for me to go forward as well. Looking for different musical skills and preferences. A lot of them like Johnny Cash, Frank Sinatra, sort of the Beatles, Bing Crosby, so we did a lot with that as well. Just looking at different communication and social interaction as well, which is very important. For the assessment, I asked each person to pick a song for one of the interventions. So I was looking if they needed a verbal prompt to pick. If they would just pick one, if they responded with a yes or no, and then if their just response was no. Also did this with their choice of instrument, and for how they showed if they were reaching, grabbing for it, no indication of one of these. I was looking at cognitive and motor skills as well. So orientation to themselves, if they stated their name, if they responded to their name, if there was no response. Also, if they were responding to other participants in the group or workers and stuff that came in staff. Some movement, or and then really was looking at affect response as well. So at the beginning of the session, or at the end of that change, was their affect flat, strange, bright, different, their tending behaviors, were they awake the group, were they asleep, their eyes open, were they making eye contact, or were they actively participating, and did this change throughout? So my assessment then led me into different individual treatment, which I then had the patient name and diagnosis and age up top. I wrote one goal, and then I had several different objectives that I wrote underneath. The thing with goals and the humanistic framework is you're really looking for those strengths and you're trying not to find those weaknesses. So that was kind of a challenge for me to keep going. I had a group session plan. I had 3 different goals that I tried to incorporate for every session that helped me lay out my different interventions that I choose. I usually started and ended with a hello song, which was great. The same song incorporated everyone's names, and it was a great orientation to themselves, validation, and a great way for them to be oriented in group as well. My client progress notes, date, client name, initial the session, different goals that were addressed, and I also really looked at that affect in there as well as the cognitive motor skills and communication. I like keeping this separate just because it was easier for me to keep track of, go back and look at, as well as I felt like this fit with my framework of just I was really finding the strengths and what they how they were interacting in a group. So that is my documentation. And just a quick evaluation of how this was. So the opportunity to really get to know the client specifically, focus on them as an individual and not their diagnosis. I think my framework fit into music therapy, and there was growth for me at MTS, and goals were met for each client. Some of the challenges with this was that it had a slow start. A lot of that was up to me, and grew through that. Vocabulary is very humanistic framework was a challenge, and so writing goals and objectives was very challenging, but I think I was able to cope through that. So thank you so much for listening to this presentation. Again, I'm sorry that I cannot give it to you in person.